Before you relapse again, listen to this story on addiction. So it's a few days after Halloween and I'm like 14 years old and I have all my candy in my room. I'm like, okay, I have it stashed away safe and sound and I don't want anyone to get it. One day I come home and there's like some chocolate missing. And so my first thought is like, oh my God, did the dogs get into it? Like, what happened to it? And then I was like, no, they didn't get into it. Because I remembered that we had a cleaning lady come over that day. And I was like, okay, well, maybe she just moved the chocolate. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ask her. So I go out to ask her, like, hey, did you move the chocolate? And she's like, no. And so then I go back to my room. I'm like, okay, well, maybe my parents took some. Like, that's annoying. But then a few minutes later, she opens the door and she has a look on her face. It's shameful. She has this look of just straight up guilt, bro. And I just don't know what to say. And she looks at me and she says, I ate it. And it was so awkward. I remember just sitting there and I had no clue what to say. I'm like 14 years old. I'm so bad with like confrontation at that age. I was so awkward. I was like, okay. But this story made me realize something pretty weird about temptation and addiction. Imagine when she was like going to clean my room and she saw all the chocolate, my stash of Halloween candy. She had this little voice in her brain that was like, oh my God, let's eat it. Let's eat this candy. Let's eat this candy. And she couldn't resist it. And that's a lot like what we go through. That little voice that you're always like at war with in your brain is what I call the little bitch part of your brain. And so this is the same part of your brain that has convinced you to like skip all the workouts. And this is the same part of your brain that has convinced you to watch porn like thousands of times. And the scary thing is that we all have this little voice in our brain. Even like the top 1% of guys, they have this voice that's saying like, come on bro, let's watch it again, let's do this, let's relapse. What matters is how you respond to it. Like, I'll be honest with you, porn addiction was easily my worst addiction. If you heard my story before, I had a lot of addictions and I was able to quit video games, junk food, scrolling like instantly. Like, it was so easy for me to quit that. But porn took me years to quit. And even now when I've quitted, I still have that little bitch voice in my brain that's like, come on bro, let's watch it. It's really not that bad. It increases testosterone. So don't be ashamed when you get the thought in your brain about like, hey man, let's relapse. You have that part of your brain just telling you, come on, let's relapse. That doesn't really matter at all. What matters is how you respond to it. Like, our brain tells us so many things that it's trying to get us to respond to. For example, let's say you're in your room, right? And you're just doom scrolling like this, right? And you start to feel alone. You're like, man, this is kind of shitty. You know, I want to go socialize. So then you walk out your room and then you go hang out with your family or you go talk to friends or something. That's like a good example of what you should be responding to when your brain is telling you something. Or imagine depression. Like, when you feel depressed, that's basically your brain telling you like, hey man, something isn't right. Like, we need to change. You get what I mean? But it's this little bitch part of your brain that's constantly saying like, come on, let's watch porn again. Come on, let's relapse. Come on, let's do this. That is not what you want to respond to. Like, for example, I'll give you a story of like a recent encounter with the little bitch part of my brain, right? So I injured my arm recently, okay? And so it was 2 days ago I hit legs, but I was like, that little bitch part of my brain was telling me like, oh bro, don't hit legs. No one cares about legs. No one's gonna look at your legs. You might as well just wear sweatpants. Like, no one cares. But then I was like, no, I recognize this. This is that little bitch part of my brain trying to tell me to skip the gym. So the way I responded to it is what matters. I responded to it, I was like, no, piss off bro, I'm still gonna go to the gym. By the way, man, if you've been watching me for a while and you find a lot of value in these videos and you want like my personal one-on-one help, go check out top link in the description for our school community. But there's this weird way where you can level up this ability to respond to these thoughts more accurately and just be aware of when you have this little bitch part of your brain trying to tell you to do something. It is something I rep so much on this channel. It is called meditating. So the version of meditating that I teach levels your brain up in this way. It's so weird. Not only will you be able to be aware and conscious of your thoughts and emotions, but it also develops this area of your brain that's conscious of your breathing and your heartbeat. So just a side note, but when you actually like get really consistent in meditating, you actually like are able to feel your heartbeat. I know that's so weird, but you'll be sitting down and you can actually feel your heartbeat. Kind of a weird side note, but here's basically how you do my style of meditation that I learned. So I want you to do this. Close your eyes with me and just try and do like a deep ass breath and try and focus on that. Don't focus on anything else but your breathing. Do this with me right now. And so when you're doing this continuously for, let's say, like 5 minutes, you're randomly going to have some thoughts in your brain. But the rep of doing it, like the workout, the rep, the bicep curl, whatever, is going to be when you actually like consciously decide to go back to focusing on your breath. Like you'll hear a bird outside, let's say, and you're like, oh no, I need to focus on my breath. That is basically the rep. That is you training yourself to be more conscious of your thoughts. And so I just really love meditating. It has like a bunch of other benefits too, by the way, like attention span and response to stress and healing trauma. Like it is just an insane thing. And also it's just like a fun little habit to start, honestly. Like life feels so monotonous when it's just school or work, and then you go work out, and then you come home and consume content, and then repeat. Go to school or work, go work out, consume content, repeat. Like it's so monotonous, right? But when you fill your day with all these small habits, like meditating for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it's just like such a small bit of time, but it just yields like insane benefits. Like I genuinely think that meditating is just as fundamental as, going to the gym. But yeah, man, once you start meditating a lot, like getting really consistent, you can actually be able to recognize when it's your logic or when it's that little bitch part of your brain. Quick side note, but I use an app for meditating. It's called Medito, Medito. You just go on there and you hit timer and you can set it for 1 minute. You get consistent with that. You get consistent with 1 minute. Then next week you move up to 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. That's how I did it. That's how I got consistent in meditating. And just a weird thing, it took me like years to be able to quit porn, right? But oddly enough, there was a direct correlation when I started getting really consistent in meditating. I was able to get so much progress in quitting porn, then I finally was able to quit it at around 18 years old. But if you want like my personal one-on-one help for your exact situation, go check out top link in the description for our school community. I can basically show you how to apply all my lessons that I talk about in this video to your like exact life situation. So it's awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.